Slash was sitting around 125 identical copies of his own guitar. The Guns N' Roses player had worked with Gibson to recreate his instrument, down to the wear from his belt buckle, but it didn't look like any normal guitar. This 2019 reissue was one that had two necks, the same model that made possible countless songs over the course of rock music, including two of the most famous solos ever performed. Let me show you what I found as we listen to the Gibson EDS-1275. 1958 was an experimental year for Gibson. The guitar company was trying to keep up with changing technologies, introducing new models like the half-acoustic, half-electric ES-335T and the solid-body Flying V. This was also the year they introduced their first double-neck guitars. There was the Double 12, which had a second neck fitted with 12 strings, and the Double Mandolin, which had a shorter neck strung like a mandolin. In 1961, Gibson debuted what would become their most popular guitar, the SG. The abbreviation stood for solid guitar, referencing its solid body design. And 2 years later, in 1963, Gibson brought this new body over to their double neck guitars, replacing their old hollow body design. This new model would become Gibson's flagship double neck guitar, and was given the name EDS-1275. 1275 was the model number, and EDS stood for Electric Double Spanish. Electric because it was an electric guitar, double because it had two necks, and Spanish because it was held in the Spanish grip, which is basically how you would normally hold a guitar. Gibson would produce their double neck model until 1968, when it was discontinued after only selling 110 units. If the EDS-1275 was going to become one of rock's most iconic guitars, it was going to need some help. Stairway to Heaven started in a remote Welsh cottage, where Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page often retreated to write music. He wanted to make a song that would unfold like a flower, slowly adding instruments as it progressed. When he went into the studio to record the track in 1971, he started the intro with his Harmony acoustic guitar. As the song goes into the chorus, Page switches to an electric Fender guitar with 12 strings. And for the solo, he used the custom Telecaster given to him by Jeff Beck, often called the Dragon. Jimmy Page was the only guitar player in Led Zeppelin, so if the band was going to play this song live, Page would have to switch between all of these different guitars in the middle of a performance. Looking for a way around this, Page remembered seeing Earl Hooker play a guitar with two necks, one that might be able to fit everything he needed into a single instrument. Page was able to get his hands on a 12-string EDS-1275 with a cherry red finish, and during live performances of Stairway to Heaven, he would start the intro on the bottom 6-string neck. It may not have been an acoustic guitar, but at least it had the same number of strings. For the chorus, he would switch up to the 12-string neck to match the 12-string Fender. And then for the Telecaster solo, he would go back down to the 6-string. While the double neck Gibson became iconic for its appearances during Stairway to Heaven, Page never really found himself using the guitar off of the stage. It would only ever appear on Led Zeppelin's last album, In Through the Outdoor, in the middle of the track Carousel Ombra. Gibson reintroduced the EDS-1275 in 1974, no doubt helped by the popularity of Stairway to Heaven 3 years earlier. With the double neck guitar back in production and studios becoming more advanced, it was only a matter of time before another song would need the instrument. Hotel California started in a Malibu beach house where Eagles guitarist Don Felder was recording some demos. The track's Latin sound caught the ears of band members Don Henley and Glenn Frey, who started adding some lyrics, and the band went to record the song in 1976. Felder started on a 12-string acoustic guitar with an electric pickup stuck in the sound hole that was wired to a spinning Leslie amp. All of this created the layered guitar sound heard in the intro. Felder packed the song full of different guitar parts, like the flourishes during the chorus. Welcome to the Hotel California. And for the climactic dueling solo, he played his '59 Gibson Les Paul. In the end, around 15 different guitar parts were combined to create the final version of Hotel California. But when Felder started rehearsing the song for tour, he ran into a problem. While the Eagles had two other guitar players, Glenn Frey and Joe Walsh, Felder still found himself having to switch between guitars mid-performance. Looking for a solution, he remembered back to his childhood when he saw guitar player Chet Atkins using a custom 1956 Gretsch guitar. It only had one neck, but the lower 3 strings were wired to one side of the stage, and the upper 3 strings wired to the other. Audiences were amazed when they heard 2 different sounds at the same time. Felder realized he might be able to do something similar for Hotel California. Not only could he replace his 12-string acoustic and 6-string Les Paul with a single double neck guitar, he could also wire each neck to a different amp. After adding a second output to his Gibson EDS-1275, he was able to recreate the 12-string stereo Leslie effect from the intro, and then switch to the 6-string with a normal amp for the solo. Don Felder's white double-neck Gibson became famous for its appearances during Hotel California. It let him recreate the song's complex recording in a live performance, and as rock music marched on, the EDS-1275 would continue to fill this role. Only a year after Hotel California, Rush guitarist Alex Lifeson used the double neck on Xanadu, a song so filled with instruments that Lifeson had to use his feet to play synth pedals. And in the early 90s, Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash got his hands on an all-black EDS-1275 for live performances of Knockin' on Heaven's Door. All of these musicians played a role in popularizing this double-neck Gibson, and the guitar company would return the favor by remaking their instruments. Exact replicas of Jimmy Page's Cherry Red model, Don Felder's double output model, Alex Lifeson's white model, and Slash's all-black model are all available in limited series runs. And if you just want a base model, as of 2023, the guitar is available on the Gibson Custom Shop with a price of $7,999. Ever since Gibson debuted the EDS-1275 in 1963, guitar players have used the instrument to open up new possibilities in music. Jimmy Page combined the acoustic and electric guitars in Stairway to Heaven. Don Felder recreated the guitar effects in Hotel California, and countless other guitarists have played the instrument in their own way. Maybe you can use a double neck guitar in your own music, or just think about it a little differently. Thanks for listening. Leave a comment and let me know if any of your favorite musicians ever used a double neck guitar. Don't forget to subscribe to Sound Selection on YouTube and check out the description for more content.